Welcome to the Stress Sisters podcast. We are your hosts, Jess and Melissa. And if you are feeling frazzled or overwhelmed or like you are already playing catch up before the day even starts, you are in the right place because today we're going to talk about a simple but really fun mindset shift that's going to help you feel more in control, less stress, and actually make you feel set up for success before you even leave your house in the morning. And no, I promise it does not involve a 15-step morning routine because ain't nobody got time for that. But we get it. We've both lived the corporate grind, the entrepreneur hustle. We've both had way too many mornings where we've woken up feeling already behind the eight ball before our feet even hit the floor. You know that feeling when your alarm goes off and your heart is already racing because it like startled you, and you grab your phone and you immediately start scrolling through your inbox that somehow tripled overnight. And it's like your day already starts in chaos. You're already stressed, almost thinking that, if you just start earlier or do more, that's going to somehow make everything automatically better. But what we found out, it took us way too long, but we eventually found out that stress is not a success strategy, right? There are way simpler ways to make your mornings less chaotic and more in your control. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can be a butler for your future self to make that happen. So let's dive in. I love this concept. It's such a fun thought experiment. When you first told me about it, Melissa, and honestly, when you put it into practice, man, like you just feel so freaking good about yourself. So tell us more about this idea of what it means to be a butler for your future self and why you should act like a butler for your future self.
Yeah, so I heard this concept on another podcast and immediately knew that I had to share it here because it clicked instantly for me. Like, I literally, the moment that I heard it, I implemented it immediately. So I was like, oh my God, like, I have to come over here and share this with all of you. So I want you to think about how a butler works for a rich person. Right? Their job is to anticipate needs, handle things ahead of time, and just overall make life easier so that their person doesn't have to stress. The rich person just wakes up, strolls to the kitchen, and coffee is hot, their clothes are ready, they're ironed, their schedule is taken care of, right? It sounds like an absolute dream. I wish I could have that myself. And like, just being real and honest, none of us, well, I would say probably the majority of us don't have the extra cash laying around where we can just afford a personal butler, right? Like today, eggs are like $10 a carton, right? So I think all of our money is going towards eggs and not really a butler. But what if you treated yourself like a butler, right? Like, imagine if future you, tomorrow's you, woke up to find that past you already handled some of the annoying little things that usually make mornings feel like a dumpster fire. Right? Like, how great would that feel to wake up and realize that past you, yesterday you, set future you up for success? How much would that change your life? And for me, when I heard this, when I started to implement this, it changed everything. I went from feeling stressed and chaotic and frustrated every single morning to calm and clear and almost just like I was waking up and making progress in my day immediately. It was a huge turning point in how I dealt with morning stress that always consumed me and my energy, and then really kind of set my entire day up to fail.
Well, I remember very vividly during that phase of your life, when you were waking up so early in the morning. It was like there wasn't even time between, when you opened your eyes to when you first checked your phone. I was like really a contributor to that stress as well. Cause I'm an hour ahead of you and I'm sending you like Slack messages at 5 o'clock in the morning. Cause I'm up, like my nervous system's in overdrive. So I'm like sending you Slack messages. You're, opening them, getting pings as soon as you open your eyes. And then from the second there, it's like, oh my God, we need to do all of this stuff. And so, you roll out of bed and immediately jump on your laptop. And it just feels like you are starting the day before you can even catch your breath. It kind of sets you up for that chaotic state And when you were able to, learn about this whole concept and start implementing things the night before to be able to set yourself up for, a little bit more of a calm, slow, and controlled morning, I remember how much better you felt. And then you're like, you've got to try it. And it was such a game changer for me too. This is something that really hit hard for me. I remember back when I was working my corporate job and I was commuting 2 hours to work one way. And, by the time I would go to sleep at night, it just felt like there was never enough time in the day. I was always tired in the morning. And so I would literally wake up and only give myself 30 minutes from the time my alarm went off to the time that I was sitting on the train to go to work. Like, it was manic. I was a maniac every single morning before the sun even came up. It was a terrible way to start the day. And like, I still get anxious thinking about how stressful that was to be like, oh my God, alarms off, like it's going off and I need to go be on this train in 30 minutes. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I have a chaotic morning too, and you're like, okay, well, it sounds like this might be interesting. It sounds like it's a fun concept, but also I need this to be practical because I'm already juggling so much. And you're telling me that you want me to start acting like a butler for my future self. It sounds like there's a lot involved in that. It sounds like that's going to start adding more to my to-do list. So is that true? If you start acting like a butler for your future self, are you just kind of like overloading yourself with even more shit that you have to do?
No, so it's actually the opposite. This idea of being a butler for your future self does not mean adding more to your to-do list. It's really more about shifting when you're doing the things that you're already doing so that your future self has less to deal with. Okay? So to give you a better idea of what I mean, let's talk about what this might look like in real life. So one of the very first things that I started to do was, you know, looking at what my morning routine used to be. I would wake up, like you said, I had no idea what I was wearing. Nothing was ready. I think like everything was unprepared for me to start the day. So I was pretty much waking up at 5:30, and when you're in that tired state, you're not fully functioning. And then when you're trying to do all of these morning tasks, when you're in that state, it's just stressful. Okay, so one of the very first things that I started to do when I started acting like a butler for myself was making my coffee the night before. Okay, I know, and all of these things that we're going to talk about, they are incredibly simple. Like they are the simplest things, but when you stack them all together, you're going to see how much better it will make, and how much better and how much less stressful it's going to make your mornings. Okay, so when I wake up in the morning and the only thing that I have to do is press the on button on the coffee, like the step of getting the coffee pot out of the dishwasher and filling up the water and measuring out the scoops of coffee and then waiting for it to like come on, like just waking up and being able to press on. I already took care of it the night before. It's done. Okay. The second thing that I started to do was laying out my workout clothes the night before. Every single it was honestly, this sounds so ridiculous, but like the action for me to get out of my pajamas and into my workout clothes feels like climbing Mount Everest. I don't know. I think it's just because like you're just so comfortable, right? And then on top of that, it's just like, ugh, I don't know what to wear. I don't know where my favorite leggings are. That sports bra doesn't match. I don't know where my socks are. Now I have mismatched socks. Like there's just so many things, like I said, and you're trying to do this in a really sleepy state in the morning. So just laying out my workout clothes the night before so that I literally get out of bed. I can press on in the coffee. I can, just my clothes are laid out for me. I just change. It's just, there's no thought. They're just there. I just changed. Done. Right. Another thing that I would do is pack my lunch the night before. I know that this is such a big issue for so many women. And especially when, when I was commuting to the office, same thing like you were talking about, Jess, it was, waking up in the morning, again, you're already starting your day rushed. You don't have time to pack lunch in the morning. You just don't. And so you're like, oh, I'll just grab something healthy. That something healthy, whether it's like a kava bowl, sweet green, like, okay, it's healthy, but before you realize that you can be eating 800 to 1,000 calories for lunch.
Mhm.
right? So just packing your lunch the night before. You just wake up, you go out the door and you grab the lunch that's already packed the night before. Even things like filling up your water bottle, right? It's like it's done, it's filled, it's ready to go for the day. If you take supplements, laying out your supplements, just I would get like the little like Monday through Friday supplement
Like the old
container pack.
person pill bottle, pill
Exactly.
container. Yeah, but they
Yeah.
work.
Yes, and like every Sunday, honestly, like every Sunday, I would just like put in like all of my vitamins that I would take, and then it's just there. I just wake up, I just take it, drink my water and go. And then also like prepping your bag, like your computer, any documents you need, like whatever you need to take with you to work, just have it ready the night before. So when you're looking at these tasks of laying out your clothes, making coffee, filling your water, packing lunch, taking your like preparing your supplements, packing your bag, you're doing those things already. So again, it's just a matter of shifting when you're doing those things. And instead of doing it in the moment and rushing and starting your day in a stress state, just take the extra time. It could probably take you, I would say, 25 minutes to do all of that the night before. And if you just do that like before you go to bed, you're done. And you're probably going to sleep better too, because you're like, well,
Mhm.
I feel really good now that I know I can just wake up and not start my day stressed and just grab everything and go.
So the whole concept, like you said, right? It's really fun, but it's also really basic. It's not about adding more to your plate. It's not about adding more to your to-do list. It's just about shifting a couple of things that you're going to do ahead of time, right? And that's what's going to take some of that stress, some of the mental overload off of your plate the next morning because and this is the important part that I want you to understand how you start your morning, that sets the tone for your entire day. And this is why, it's like we can sit here and talk all day about like, be a butler for yourself and set yourself up for success. And you're like, well, yeah, no shit. Like, of course, yeah, it makes sense why I would do it the night before. But I want you to understand why that's so important and why being a butler for yourself the night before is going to improve your not only your day but like your life in general, your stress levels, your mood, your outlook. Like it's going to have a really positive spillover effect because when you do take just a few small steps the night before to give yourself the opportunity to be successful the next morning, what happens is you wake up almost feeling accomplished before you even do anything, right? So, like you said, Melissa, instead of doing what you used to do or what I used to do and, rolling out of bed, already feeling frazzled, trying to like, mentally piece together 5,000 things that like you need to remember, you need to do, you're giving yourself more of this chance, or like a fighting chance to start the day feeling like you're in control, feeling like you're clear headed and not feeling like you're scrambling, right? Like your cortisol is not skyrocketing before you even brush your teeth. You're not running around like a headless chicken. Like I just think back to like running around my kitchen, like trying to grab things of like ADHD brain of like, oh my God, start this and then jump over to there. And I don't even know if I have everything, just scrambling to find your keys and pack your lunch and throw together an outfit that looks like, you didn't just give up on life. It's just like there's so much that you have to do in the morning. And when you start your day that way, it's not conducive to you having a good day. So when you can be this butler for yourself the night before, you're giving yourself the opportunity not only to have a good day, but to also kind of follow through on promises that you made to yourself, right? Like you want to start drinking more water. You want to start working out in the morning. You want to start eating healthier. If you're delaying all of those things, right? And you're kind of putting it all off in the like, I'm going to wait until tomorrow morning to start that, to like drink my water. I'm going to wait until tomorrow morning to lay out my workout clothes. You're not really giving yourself the opportunity to jump into that, right? It's all a time delay. So by filling up your water the night before, like you wake up, your water's already there. You're already ready to drink it, right? Like that's awesome. I want to eat healthier. Well, I packed it the night before. I don't have to think about it, in the morning. I'm just going to grab my lunch, already have the healthy lunch. It's already packed. That's awesome, right? You want to feel better. You want to feel more confident about yourself. You're not scrambling to find an outfit. You already have your cute outfit picked out. Like it's awesome. It's building momentum, right? And when you feel good about being proactive and when you feel good about having accomplished those things already, right? You're starting your day with a win, right? You're not starting your day reactive. You're starting your day proactive. You're starting your day with a win, and the more that you start your days with wins, the more you're building momentum, right? And that's the thing that I think is so important to remember, right? Momentum is everything because I think we all tend to think, the whole goal for all of us, right? It's like, I want to feel happy. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to feel like satisfied with my life, right? And a lot of times we look at almost like the end goal, right? Like once I get that promotion, once I hit that milestone, once I like check the thing off of my list, that's what's going to make me feel happy and fulfilled. But the truth is that happiness and fulfillment, that comes from that feeling of making progress, right? Like Tony Robbins always uses that example of, think about when, you get the promotion. You've worked so hard, you finally get the promotion, like you're super psyched about it. But how long does that super psyched feeling last? It's a very short window. But when you're looking like, on the almost like the progress that you're making towards that promotion, like I'm putting in the hours, I'm getting the recognition, I feel like I'm learning and I'm contributing. It's all of the steps that you're taking where you feel like you're making progress. That's the part that feels really fulfilling. It's not the payoff in the end, right? It's just that sense of feeling like you are moving forward, that you are in control of your day. You're not at the mercy of your day. And when you think about it that way, if that's what actually makes life feel fulfilling and rewarding and contributes to that sense of happiness, ultimately, we should all be striving to create more momentum, right? So, this whole concept that you've introduced about being a butler for yourself, it's not just about doing things ahead of time. It's really about starting your day with more momentum, right? You're waking up feeling ahead instead of feeling behind. And that type of energy, that type of feel good energy, that's what really kind of, carries over into everything else you do, right? You're feeling more confident, you feel more put together. When you kind of attack your day with that type of energy, well, things don't stress you out as much, right? Like your inbox doesn't stress you out so much. You feel more like locked in and focused on meetings, you feel like this boost of energy that's just kind of carrying throughout your day because you didn't start your morning off feeling completely overwhelmed by the chaos.
Yeah. And I think there's one more thing that I want to add to this that you didn't touch on. And it's this whole idea of being a butler for yourself. It almost forces you to start every single day with gratitude.
Mm,
One of the very first things we do with our clients who are experiencing chronic stress, who are completely burnt out, is as woo as it sounds, we have them start practicing more gratitude. It is scientifically proven when you're in a gratitude state, when your brain is switched on and you are practicing gratitude, you can't be angry. You can't be frustrated. You can't feel all of those negative emotions. So, and this was what it was Chase Hughes who introduced this concept of being a butler for yourself that I had heard, and he was saying that when you do wake up, when you do see your clothes out, when you do get to go turn the coffee pot on because it's already made, when you do get to grab your lunch, thank yourself. Say
mm,
thank you past me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look at how many out of those 6 small little things that I had listed before, look at how many things you get to say thank you for.
mm.
And so immediately you're starting your day with gratitude without having to use any BS gratitude journal. Okay, you are producing gratitude for yourself. So now let's flip this whole scenario and talk about what most of us are used to doing and what happens when you start your day unprepared and already in a stress mode. So the very first thing that happens is you oversleep because you're exhausted. You wake up disappointed because you overslept. Because you overslept, you didn't get to get your workout in that you told yourself you would do the night before. Because you didn't get your workout in, you feel lazy. And so now to overcompensate for feeling lazy, you just jump straight into work just to try to feel like you're productive and you're not a lazy POS, right? So you immediately check your phone, you're flooding your brain with notifications and emails, and you're responding to Slack messages that could probably wait until 9 or 10 a.m., right? And so you're spiking your stress before you've even gotten out of bed. Do you see that domino effect? You, from there, realize that you didn't prep anything the night before. So now you're kind of cranky. right? On top of laying in bed, blasting off emails and Slack messages, trying to feel productive, you're cranky. And now you're rushing to throw breakfast together, or you're not even eating breakfast. You're running late for work. You're scrambling to get out the door. You hate your outfit. Your hair looks like a squirrel made a nest in it. I don't even know if you have makeup on. You don't look good and you don't feel good.
Yeah.
And now you leave the house feeling frazzled. You're already in reactive mode. You're cranky, and that energy follows you into the rest of the day. And then what happens? You get in your car, the traffic pisses you off. You open your inbox and you're like, F you, I do not get paid enough for this. You see 40 meetings on your calendar and you want to actually pull your hair out, right? And that one person who is genuinely nice sends you a Slack message and you irrationally just want to get up and turn their entire desk over, right? It's not that these things are really annoying. It's that you already started your day stressed. So every tiny little stressor feels amplified. Your nervous system is already on high alert. So every little inconvenience feels 10 times worse. You're almost, attracting that to you. And that sets the tone for your entire day. And that's miserable. Okay. It does not have to be that way. And if you've been living like that, I promise that all it really takes is a few small steps to be that butler for your future self. And you can set yourself up for a morning that feels calm and productive and actually enjoyable, instead of one that feels like you're just trying to survive until lunch or until 5 p.m. when you can get it back in your car and then be pissed off for the entire ride home.
It's so true. And I'm glad that you kind of showcased the opposite side of it, because it's really easy to sit there and to think through okay, well, you're right. If I do kind of prepare one or two things the night before, then I already wake up feeling less stressed. I already wake up feeling like I have good momentum. I feel like what you said, that sense of gratitude, oh, those things are already checked off. I'm already really grateful that I didn't have to do, add more to my plate this morning. So you're starting your day with more momentum, more energy, more gratitude, more happiness in general, and more fulfillment, versus what most of us are doing right now, which, like you said, you're starting in a reactive mode. You're feeling like you're behind the eight ball before your day even begins. And that pissy, cranky energy of feeling stressed and feeling chaotic, it just carries with you for the rest of the day. So it's like you said, it's not just about preparing stuff the night before. It's how do you want your day to go? What is the energy that you want to carry through your day? Because you have the ability to choose. It's really what it comes down to. So here's my challenge for you. If you're listening to this, what I want you to do tonight, I want you to start to take one step, right? One step to be the butler for your tomorrow self. Okay. So what you're going to do is think about all of the things that you normally do in the morning to get out the door, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. And I want you to pick one thing that you can do tonight. So Melissa gave a bunch of examples. Lay out your workout clothes, pick out your work outfit, fill up your water bottle, pack your lunch, pack a snack, pack a breakfast, already make your coffee in advance, lay out your coffee cup, right? It's simple little things that you can do just to take a couple of pieces off of your plate for tomorrow morning. Okay. So you're just going to pick one thing. I know if you're listening to this, you're probably an overachiever. Don't try to do 15 things. We're just going to pick out one thing that you normally do in the morning before you start your day, and you're going to do it tonight instead. Okay. I want you to make it the smallest thing. That way, when you wake up tomorrow morning, it's one less thing that you have to do. And it's something you're going to feel so grateful for and already feel so accomplished about, that it's going to make your day, your entire day, feel a little bit lighter and a little bit brighter just because of that.
Yeah, I love that. And again, when you do wake up feeling ahead instead of behind, your entire morning starts with a sense of calm and control instead of chaos and cortisol spikes. And truly, you're going to watch how your entire day will change. And you're not going to feel like you're rushing throughout the entire day. You're not going to feel stressed before the day even begins. You're not going to, feel like you're cranky and agitated all day long. You are setting the tone for everything that follows just by doing one or two things to prepare the night before. And once you see how much of a difference just one small shift can make, you're going to want to keep stacking those wins, because feeling in control of your day, even in the smallest way, is what creates momentum, like Jess was saying. And momentum is what makes you feel like you're actually getting somewhere. Okay. And I think one of the most important things as well is, once you feel that feeling of gratitude and that feeling of, I'm really proud of myself and I'm thankful, you're going to chase that feeling over and over again. And you're going to start to want to do all of these things the night before to prepare. So pick your one thing, do it, and let us know how it goes. And if you found this episode helpful and want to hear more like this, make sure you tap the follow button to get notified when a new episode drops. And it would mean the world to us if you left a 5-star rating and review. Not only does it help our cortisol levels, but it also helps us reach more women like you who need this kind of support. And if you want to join weekly live calls, get more helpful stress-free tips like this, and join a community of women who just get it, come join us inside our app. Tap the link in the show notes and join us inside Stressy.
All right, friends, go do something tonight that your future self will thank you for. We will see you next week.